All right, everyone, welcome. It is December of 2023, and we're here to celebrate Baba's sister Mani's birthday today. So we have a few things. One of them is a bio that Elizabeth is going to read for us about Mani's life. And I already heard Betty started to tell a story, and I know a lot of us have thoughts and stories about Mani. So after we have the bio, we'll have a little video and then sharing. So Elizabeth, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
So I just want to say that this bio was written by Karen Talbot, who writes our gorgeous bios. And of course, there's a lovely picture of Mani that I'm looking at where it starts. Anyway, so here it is. Family background. Mani was born in Poona on December 15th, 1918, the sixth and last child of Sheriar Mundagar Irani and Shireen Durab Irani. When Shireen was close to giving birth, she and Sheriar were sitting together. Sheriar was reading to her from the Shamanah, a Persian epic. He was reading the story of Princess Manija. Shireen went into labor and was rushed to Sassoon Hospital that evening, December 15th, 1918. Her siblings were Jamshed, Merwan, Mayor Baba, Beheram, Jal, and Adi Jr. When she was born, Mayor Baba was 24 years old. He cycled to the hospital. He was the first one to hear the news. A Zoroastrian baby is never handled until washed, but Mayor Baba hurried to where Mani was, picked her up, kissed and cuddled her, despite his mother's protest. In later years, when people would tell her how they came to Baba, Mani would smile and say, I didn't come to Baba. Baba came to me. And I was born with one ambition, to be with Baba. Mani was the only one who could say she was God's sister. In those days, children, even up to 2.5 years old, slept in cradles that were like small wooden beds. As Mani wrote in her book, Godbrother, the last thing Merwan did before leaving their house was to rock Mani's cradle, kiss her, and tell their parents, she's so fortunate. She first met Mera when she was 5 years old. Mayor Baba went to visit Baba House in Poona and brought Mera. Mayor Baba gave Mera a toy to give to Mani. Neither could remember the toy, but Mani remembered Mera's beautiful hair. When Mani was 7 years old, Shireen wrote to her son about his little sister, saying, night and day, Mani remembers you. During Mani's school days, Shireen would take Mani to visit Mir Baba wherever he was. When Mani was a child, she would beg Mir Baba by asking him to turn the key and to come daily in her dreams. When she was
Elizabeth, we're not seeing you. Is there a reason we're not seeing you?
She's doing a PDF off the computer. You didn't hear her say that. You can't
I
see.
I'm so sorry.
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. When she was 8 years old, she picked flowers to help Mera make crowns and sandals for Mayor Baba. When Mani returned to Poona, she decided to make them on her own. She purchased elastic to make the crown and used cardboard for the sandals. When she presented them to Meher Baba, he wore the tiny crown on his head and the sandals fit on his smallest toes. Becoming a member of the Women Mandali. The first letter she received from overseas was a letter from Mayor Baba in 1932. Mani carried it around until she came to live with Mayor Baba by the end of the same year, 1932. The letter said, Darling Mani, I would feel most pleased if you could stay with Mera and Naja, leading the present pure life and obeying my usual orders. But mother might object and not let you stay away from her. But remember, once you are free from mother, join Mera and stay with her. But you must stay in a way that no big order is broken. You know how dear you are to me and how much I love my darling sister. Be always thinking of me and remember my wishes and big orders. M.S. Irani. The catch was that Mani had to get free of their mother. She became rude and disrespectful to her, but then would cry and cry privately. Despite all difficulties, Mayor Baba arranged for his brother Beheram's marriage and sent his brother Jal back home to be with Shireen. Mani came to live in the ashram with Mayor Baba at the end of 1932. She was 13 years old. In the Nasik ashram, her constant companionship with Mera for the next 57 years began. Mera trained Mani in Mayor Baba's ways. Mera's absorption in Mayor Baba while preparing a glass of water for him amazed Mani. From early on, Mani was always to be with Mera. Some of the early ways she was with Mera included to record her every moment in a diary and to play the sitar when Mera was bathing or men were working nearby. When living at Meherazad in the East Room, they occupied their time making gifts for Mayor Baba, and they cared for the many animals Mayor Baba brought them. Mani picked up Mayor Baba's gestures very easily. Mayor Baba would work very hard. He always wanted to be entertained. Mera would think up costumes. Mani would make up skits and plays and funny songs for them. Blue Bus Tours, 1938 to 1942, and the move to Meherazad in 1944. From December 8, 1938 to December 1942, Mani went on the Blue Bus Tours. There were 6 tours with interim periods almost always spent at Meherazad. Mani kept diaries of the Blue Bus Tours. In 1944, after all their travels, they began to stay at Meherazad. Mani was 25 years old. Mera and Mani shared a room at Meherazad. Mayor Baba would read books and the newspapers by himself. Then Mani began reading aloud to him. She would use different voices for each of the characters. The New Life, 1949 to approximately 1951, and The Visit to the West in 1952. Along with Mera, Meru, and Dr. Goher, Mani was one of the 4 women to join Mayor Baba on The New Life. She was 30 years old at this time. During The New Life, Mayor Baba had the women make puppets. The thought was that they might sell them, similarly to the men Manjali making ghee. She said, in spite of the hardships of The New Life, she felt incredibly free. After The New Life, the same 4 women traveled to the West and stayed at the Meher Spiritual Center. At the Meher Center, they stayed in the guest house, which was built especially for these 4 women. After their visit to the Meher Center, Mera, Mani, and Meru traveled in the same car with Mayor Baba, driven by Elizabeth, across the United States to California. In Prague, Oklahoma, there was a serious car accident. At the time of the accident, Mani only suffered whiplash and was able to help care for the others who were seriously injured. The injured were sent to Dr. Barrelson's clinic in Prague, Oklahoma. Mani maintained a correspondence with Dr. Barrelson for many years after the accident. 82 family letters, 1956 to 1969, and summer stays at Guru Prasad between 1959 and 1960 something. Mani became Meher Baba's scribe to the Western world with the family letters. After Meher Baba's second car accident in 1956, Meher Baba had her begin communicating to all of his lovers in the West through the family letters. During this time, there were 82 family letters written by Mani, approved by Meher Baba, and sent to his lovers and devotees in the West. In 1959, they began spending summers at Guru Prasad in Poona. In Meher Baba's later years, they alternated between life at Meherazad and spending the hot summers at Guru Prasad. 1969 and after. When Meher Baba dropped his body, Mani, along with the other women Mandali, came to Meherabad. Meher Baba asked Mani to look after Mehra if he dropped his body. After he dropped his body, Mani looked after Mehra, welcomed each and every Westerner to the last darshan in April and May of 1969, and continued greeting each and every pilgrim after that time. She regaled each one with stories of his advent and his love for each and all. In the 70s, she became a chairman of the Avatar Meher Baba Public Perpetual Charitable Trust. She spent the following years living at Meherazad and working at the Meher Baba Trust Office in Ahmednagar during the week. On weekends at Meherazad, she continued to share stories of her life with him, played her sitar, and entertained pilgrims with her many talents and her charms. Mani passes away August 19th, 1996. After a prolonged illness, Mani passed away on August 19th, 1996. When she passed away, blue smoke was seen from her cremation. All of the Christ cradles flowers blossomed that night. Two wandering sadhus approached Erich. They asked, "Whose pyre was this?" Instead of the black smoke of an ordinary person, it was blue-gray smoke of the pyre of a saint. They came to ask about this great soul and to pay their respects. When told this was the sister of Meher Baba, they said, "Ah, that explains it." What Meher Baba said about his sister Mani, he said, "I'm always happy when Mani's reading to me because it makes me feel like I am watching a play." Meher Baba said to Dr. Murthy, who had a doctorate in philosophy, "Deshmukh you can put you in his pocket, but Mani can put you both in her pocket." What others said about Mani, Arnavas said, "In the world, she would have been a genius." Delia said Meher Baba told them his own sister Mani was a genius and often kept him entertained with her dancing and sketches, which she composed herself. The sources of this bio were the following books written by Mani: 82 Family Letters, God Brother, Dreaming of the Beloved, Tales from the New Life, of which she was co-author, and books about Mani, The Joyous Path by Heather Nadal, and DVDs, including one by Wendell Brustman. Che Baba.
Jay, Baba Elizabeth, thank you. That was beautiful. You did a beautiful job.
Wonderful.
Put
I'll
my
put my
glasses on so I can see what I'm doing.
I'm going to put my video back on.
Jay Baba.
Che Baba.
Well, I do have a little video of Mani, just some photos and a little music to kind of bring her closer to us. Let's see here. There we go.
sister of Merwan, a girl who had only one dream, her wish to be with him always was granted when she was 14. Baba was more than her brother, her master, her lord, and her king. He and his beloved Mehera, her all and everything. Her love is a song for the ages, a servant who chose to be bound, a sparkling star in the heavens above, in this beautiful Julius round. The brightest star in the heavens, so close to the moon and the sun, a guiding light to the lovers of God, her fate a most fortunate one. Baba had joined her to Mera, by his wish they were never apart. She was the constant companion and friend to the queen of his heart. Her love is a song for the ages, a servant who chose to be bound, a sparkling star in the heavens above, in this beautiful Julius crown. To stay by his side and deserve him, her only wish or desire. Money as gentle as flowers, her love much fiercer than fire. She always danced to his music, in silence or thundering sound. She danced right into his ocean and drank until she was drowned. Her love is a song for the ages, a servant who chose to be bound, a sparkling star in the heavens above, in this beautiful Julius crown. Her love is a song for the ages, a servant who chose to be bound, a sparkling star in the heavens above, in this beautiful Julius crown. A most beautiful Julius crown.
On the second to last picture, who was that little girl that like snuck in at the bottom between them? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know who that. I did know. I heard some story, but I can't remember now who that stuck their head in there.
Yours is a very beautiful picture. Who's looking in the bus over you?
Oh, over me, Teresa. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of Teresa's last name. She's a Chapel Hill person as well.
She looks a bit like Mera, so it's like Mera looking from above and you hugging Money. And Money is so small and you so.
I thought that little girl was Mani, a little Mani, daughter of Devana. I thought that was Devana. and Mani there.
Let's see.
I thought it was Divana and wondered if it was her daughter, if it was money.
Here we go. We're going to take a peek then, see if we can figure it out. So we're looking.
And that was you at the end too, Ruthie?
Yeah, I'm right. Let's see. Oh, Baba. Okay.
We need
Circle of death.
Catherine's.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yes, that was a great picture.
We don't see it.
It's not
I know
spotlighted.
because my I've got the circle of death going, you know, the round
Yeah.
ball for some reason. Baba said that's enough. I don't know. We can come back to it later. Oh, well.
And
That
if
was-
she tell us, when did Mara pass?
Elizabeth, you have the bio. Do you know?
1989.
89.
89.
No, 99. It was, I'd have to go back. I'm doing this from memory. I think it's August.
Mara passed 89 and Nani passed 96.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
96
right. 90,
Yeah.
August 19th, 1996.
Yeah,
That's
and
No,
it's
it's never
interesting.
alone.
96 is like the opposite of 69.
That's true. Now we're getting nowhere.
Well, that's an interesting way to remember it.
Yeah, that's
96 and 69.
yeah,
yeah.
it just hit me that it was it's probably Baba's, Baba's work.
Well,
Beautiful, Ruthie.
yeah, it's hard to say much about Mani that hasn't been said. I think that probably her spirit, her happy, joyous spirit, was the thing that I encountered when I was there. I've told the story before that I had a glucometer so I could check my blood sugar, and they came to me and asked me if I would check Mani's blood sugar. And so I went to the office and I did that. But you know, most of the time it was just seeing her be so playful. There's a picture of her standing like this with a dance pose. And that was, I said, oh, let me get your picture. And so then she struck the pose. Just beautiful. I mean, it struck me looking at that film again, just the graceful beauty of that woman, that sister of Baba's. Her gracefulness just struck me. The way she moved. There's a photo of her looking over her shoulder with a camera, and just everything about that her clothing, the way she's standing is so beautiful, so full of grace.
I have a question. It sounded like it was going to be a problem with Shireen releasing Mani. How did that happen at such an early age? Because that kind of got glossed over quickly in the bio.
What it said is she's the last of 6 children. And I think Bob was just commenting on the fact that she probably would be reluctant to see her youngest child and also her only female child go. And so by Baba marrying off Beheram, his other brother could go back home to be with his mother, and that freed Mani up to go to Mera. That's what I understood.
No, what happened was Baba told her, because she didn't want to release her. So Baba told her, now you behave unkindly to her, behave badly to her. And you read it in the bio. So she started behaving unkindly to her mother, rudely to her mother. And then you read that she used to go to her bed and cry because of that. So after this, that she disrespected, and you know, in India, to disrespect the parents is really something very, very not doing. And so at that, she so rudely was with her mother that her mother said, "Okay, you know, just go." And then her mother said to Baba, "No, I'm alone, you know, so you have to take care of me." And that's when he sent Beheram, and he made him marry because Beheram did not want to get married. So he made him marry and go to live by his mother and take care of her. And she passed away very, very soon. No, she didn't live very long. So that's how she was released at the age of 13.
Now, Elizabeth, you have your hand up. Did you have something you wanted to share?
Oh, yes. By the way, I don't think it was Beheram who went. I think it was Joe, but I'll have to double check. I'll have to reread the bio and I'll check it after I say this. I didn't get to meet Monty, so I'm looking forward to everybody else's stories. But what I'm hoping is I either received one or two letters from Mara. I know I should know, but I know I've received one that was really important, where she said, you know, take Bob as your friend. He will be the best one you ever have. And she was just, she responded to a 17-page letter I wrote to her. But I heard within the last year that Monty often wrote her letters. So my little dream to myself is that I had a connection with both Monty and Mara. Monty wrote the letter. I mean, Mara composed the letter and Monty wrote it down and sent it to me. So who knows if that's true, but I kind of am hoping that there's that connection there, you know, because I never got to meet, well, I got to meet a few. I got to meet Arnavas probably in her last year, and Katie, and she was still very active when I met her. And then, of course, Bauji, I was close to, and Alaba, and Adi Sr. I met. He was the first one when he was speaking at American University. And I think that was as early as 1977 or 78, which was a long time before I got hooked, which was 85. Anyway. Jay Baba.
It was 71 when Adi and Margie came through. I don't know, maybe Adi came again. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he came again. I didn't meet him, and I've looked it up. I know it's, you know, later in the late 70s.
Ah, right.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And Michal? Jai Baba.
Yeah. So no, Jal did go back after a time, but it was Beheram who Baba sent to be with his mother, and that's why he got him married. And then Jal also, and I was thinking just before this about Mani and how she was and what she was about, and I realized she was. I mean, Baba is very beautiful. Baba is very family-like, and he also cares that we take care of our families. We sort of make good with our families. That's what I experienced with him. So Baba had all his family follow him. His mother was reluctant, but she also at the end believed that he was the avatar, and she suffered a lot because of that, because she was very much disturbed by the community that she was living in, where she was the center of the community at the beginning. And then they sort of made her suffer a lot because of Baba saying that he was avatar. And in the Zoroastrian belief, as in the Jewish belief, you can't have anyone else being the highest of the high. So actually all his family were great believers in him. And even Jal, the whole story with Jal, that he said, no, you are crazy. You're not the avatar. You're not God. You're just a crazy person. And he made him test with a burning coal and in his hand. And that's when he believed that Baba was really avatar. So Mani was the only one that lived with him always. And that is very unique. That although all his brothers were with him in different times of his work, of his spiritual work, it was only Mani who stayed with him throughout his life. And also I was thinking about her creativity, her very varied creativity in so many fields. And all the plays that she wrote, all the acting out that she did, all the joy that she brought Baba. I think she was the one who was bringing him so much joy. and relieving him from the stress of his work. And yes, she was so very wise, not only intelligent, not only such a high genius, but she was very wise in a way. It's very beautiful being. So thank you, Mani. Thank you, Baba, for all the things written about these mandalis that we can delve into even without meeting them and get to know them through that and for ages to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, beautiful. And what about you, Betty? You want to unmute?
Boy, she would have loved your glasses, Ruthie.
That's why I put them on.
Oh. She was so full of joy. Pratap talked about her on Friday. He said Mani was like a sparrow. She said she would flit in his hands. She would flit around from people and bring joy. And if you saw a group of people and saw them laughing, you knew Mani was right there in the middle of it. Yeah. And he said that, and Mara was like a swan. He said she was beautiful and just a different beauty. Yeah. So I was thinking, I have a little tiny, my daughter was 7, Shireen, at the time, and Mani would call her little mummy, my little mummy. she had little bits of, little interactions with all of us. We had 5 of us there. Me and 3 of our kids were there. And then I thought, but I really don't have I'm not remembering she sat down with us and then I remembered, yeah, as we were leaving, we had been there quite 6 weeks, a long time. And so it was at Meherazad Day, and the taxi was to meet us right at out in front of Manali Hall to take us off to Poona. And I thought, and so there we were, the 5 of us, luggage in the car, everything. I thought, well, I'll just peek in to Mandalay. The folks were sitting in Mandalay Hall. I'll just peek in and I'll wave. I just didn't want to disturb everybody, but I just looked in the door and Mani turned around. I think she might have been talking. She turned around. She said, "Oh," and so she got up, and then everybody else got up, and they all came out of Mandalay Hall, and it was just this wonderful send off. I remember it was September. It was hot. Balnatu had this big funny kind of he put a towel on his head or something. He was up there with Shireen. It was just I do have pictures and I need to dig them up. But it was just this wonderful send off. Everybody everybody came out of Mandalay Hall to say goodbye, and that was because Mani responded the way she did. So that's it. That was the great send off. Jai Baba.
Beautiful, precious send off.
Yeah, she was busy. I know she was very busy when I was there. She was always in the office and had work to do. So it was not, you didn't always get time that you might have wanted. But there were times at Meherazad where she would be there and you did have a little bit of time with her before she went to work or on a day off. So it was just always such a pleasure to have her time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a little bit of oh yeah, okay. Rosa? Jai Baba.
I had an experience with Mani. I don't hear people referring to this quality of hers that I felt, which was this exquisite sensitivity to energy in one state. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it was my first trip in Mandi Hall. It was my turn to tell my story. And because I was kind of new to Baba, my story had much to do with my spiritual search and the fact that for 12 years I had been with different Sufi masters. And so there was a lot of that. And anyway, I felt one of the Mandali women said something to me that was really kind of surprising. I felt tremendously misunderstood and crestfallen. And I don't know how to describe it, but I felt this energetic connection with Mani. All of a sudden, she leaped up from her place across, I think we were in a circle, and she came right over to me and grabbed my two hands and pulled me into the center of the room, and we were dancing in a circle. It was like, oh no, you're not going to stay in that state. But I mean, it was so, to me, so palpable and instantaneous. It was a very special moment. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, oh, it was.
Wow.
I mean, of course, you know, I feel all the qualities that everybody else has talked about, you know, her sparkling energy, her great wit, her tremendous creativity, her brilliant mind, and her total devotion to Baba. Yeah. It's beautiful. And I love the presentation this morning. What a wonderful job, all of you involved. Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. Yeah, that's really beautiful to remind us, because I didn't have that experience with Mani, that she could feel that she could feel what was going on excuse me, and in a energetic way, and then come to you.
Yes, and the fact that she acted on it, you know, it was
So
like,
cool.
you know,
Yeah.
oh, the soul is in need. And she was right there, and she made me get up, and we were dancing.
So sweet.
Yeah, very sweet.
I wish somebody'd been there to take a picture. That was
Yeah.
Well,
treasure.
I got some kind of a image when you talked about it. I got a little picture in my head of it, Rosa.
Yeah.
Jai Baba. Nihal? Jai Baba.
Lucy, you were going to share something, so why don't you share first and then I will go.
No, go ahead, honey. I just had a little video. I thought I don't even know what it's on it. We're gonna all be surprised together, but I thought I'd
Okay.
show something after you share, or anybody else.
Okay, so Rosa, what year was that when you were there, when you were first there?
I think it was, I am so bad about the world and time. It was 86 or 87.
It was
Mm,
87.
okay.
You and I were roommates, Rosa.
What
87.
year?
Oh, nice.
What year was it, Betty?
87. August, September 87. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
then
I think March 87. You and I were roommates.
okay, so I was there, I guess, 87 and 88. I don't know.
Oh, 88, I was there. So actually, with money, for me, it was a miss because I was very new to Baba, I was very new to all this thing. And we had a good beginning, but it was a miss later on. So I'm an example of someone who, even after passing away of a Mandali, where you can have really good relationship or even correct a relationship that was missed. So now I'm feeling really in the same vibration with money that was at that time not working. It started good, but it didn't work later on. So, and I do understand why. And I think money also understands why and sees it differently now when she is not in the position that she was at that time. So this is a really good example of how to be in relationship with the mandali, even if you didn't, even if you missed them, or even if you did not meet them, because they're never died, they are eternally living, and so you can still have this relationship and always have it even better, because now there's nothing that hides away the truth, the real truth behind everything. So they can see clearly, and well, we don't see clearly completely, but we can still hope to have those relationships better, or even starting with those that we didn't meet. So Mani, thank you, Mani, and I want to sing the song, the birthday song for Mani. So we used to have here beautiful meetings until something really, I don't know what happened here in 2016, when I was sent back and didn't get a visa because of some mishap, not mine. And then all our group have dispersed somehow. But until then, we had 10 years of beautiful, beautiful meetings, Baba meetings and celebrations. And we used to celebrate Mani's birthday together with Mera, because it's the same month and it's only 2 weeks apart. And also Hanukkah used to sometimes come up, and Christmas used to come up at that time. So we would celebrate all these lightful times together. So this is a Mani song, a birthday song. Sometimes it goes together with Mera's song, but this time it goes only for Mani. Oh, Baba Tao, Meo Baba, Kiche, and dear Mani, hi. Mani shel Baba mleat chaim v'simcha, Anna izri lanu le'ahov et Baba od ve'od. Mani shel Baba mleat chaim v'simcha, Anna izri lanu le'ahov et Baba od ve'od. יצירתית ומצחיקה, משמחת ונבונה, אחות קטנה לאהבתה, מדמהלה. יצירתית ומצחיקה, משמחת ונבונה, אחות קטנה לאהבתה, מדמהלה. יום הולדת משמח עם החלוי שלך, יום הולדת משמח עם מהר בבא. יום הולדת משמח עם החלוי שלך, יום הולדת משמח עם מהר בבא. Mani, full of love, sparkling joy, vivacious one, please help us love Baba more and more and more. Mani, full of love, sparkling joy, vivacious one, please help us love Baba more and more and more. Creative and much fun, wise and full of humor, little sister of the Avatar, much less you are. Creative and much fun, wise and full of humor, little sister of the Avatar, much less you are. Happy birthday, dear Mani, with your god brother. Happy birthday, dear Mani, with Meher Baba. Happy birthday, dear Mani, with your god brother. Happy birthday, dear Mani, with Meher Baba. Mani shel Baba mleat chaim v'simcha, Anna izri lanu le'ahov et Baba od ve'od. יום הולדת משמח עם החלוי שלך, יום הולדת משמח עם מהר בא. Now, just I want to share with you how I see it, because I believe that all the Mandalia are alive, fully alive in Baba Star Bar, now celebrating with money on big long table, and they're all having lots of fun, and they're peeking down at us and seeing what we are doing for them too. And this joy is also coming up into the heavenly Darbar, where they're having full and joyful time and great plans for us all. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Mani. Have a wonderful birthday and enjoy everyone's love for you, and up there and down here too.
Yeah, thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you for the song as well. I did find out something online of Mani and some music, so I thought I'd try it and just see. It's not that long, about 9 minutes.
बाबा बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो जय जय मेहर बाबा बोलो जय जय मेहर बाबा बोलो प्रेम से मेहर बाबा बोलो इस दिन मेहर बाबा बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो प्रेम से मेहर बाबा बोलो जय जय मेहर बाबा बोलो जगता जय जय मां अवतारा बोलो जय जय मां अवतारा बोलो सृष्टि के रखवाला बोलो जय जय मेहर बाबा बोलो प्रेम से मेहर बाबा बोलो निस दिन मेहर बाबा बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो मेहर मेहर बाबा बोलो जय जय 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 मेहर बाबा बोलो निस दिन मेहर बाबा बोलो जय जय मेहर बाबा बोलो प्रेम से मेहर बाबा बोलो निस दिन मेहर बाबा बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो बाबा 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 बोलो जय जय मेहर 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 बाबा बोलो जय जय Baba bolo, Jaja Meher Baba bolo, Meher Meher Baba bolo, Meher Meher Baba bolo, Jaja 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 Meher Baba bolo. Avtar.
Thank you, Lucy. Beautiful.
Yes, dear. It was good to hear her voice.
What is called, what is the instrument called that she's playing on?
Guitar.
Sitar, right, sitar. Not so.
And the cool thing was, there's also a picture of her with a violin. And I'm friends with Beverly Smith on Facebook. And there was a photo of her, of Monty for her birthday, and she was playing the violin. And Beverly said that it was her violin. She gave it to Monty. Monty said something about it, and she said, oh, she gave it to Monty to play. And sure enough, Monty picked it up and started tooling through some music on it. And a violin is very hard to play. It's probably the most difficult, they claim, of the instruments. So, yeah, Monty just had that ability to just move into the moment. It's astounding. I mean, you had to see it, I guess, or hear about it, but it certainly was pretty amazing. Miss Betty, oh, you're muted, dear. I might have.
Okay. Inspired by Mikal, I grabbed the family letters too, and her commentary. Wow. I'm just going to read a little bit. What a sophistication about
I was
words.
going to say,
Pardon?
yeah, it was the family letters that gave me an essence of her.
Uh-huh.
I'm so
Wow.
glad.
Yeah. So anyway, she has this section in February 1966, I think, or 5. She includes some excerpts of letters from children, from men, from women, and her preface is this: words are like lanterns, meaningless and cluttering up space until they are lighted. The words that came wrapped in these hundreds of letters to the beloved from his Western lovers were gloriously alight with the flame of his love, bathing us around him in the glow of Baba's beauty reflected from them. They were indeed not letters, they were a prayer, a song, a longing, a cry, a thankfulness, a pledge, a confession, a personal chat with God, an outpouring, a sahabas. Nearly every letter was simply an opening of the innermost door of the heart where he abides, and where perhaps the writer himself has dared not enter except to kneel before him in love and gratitude. Like some stirring piece of music or song that haunts you the long after you've heard it. Snatches of these letters keep coming back to us through the day. I feel that reproducing some of them here would not be violating the sacred privacy of those communications to the divine beloved, but rather the singing together of his love, his arti. My problem is how to limit it to just a few of them. When at first I planned to give passages from selected letters, I didn't realize I would wind up selecting from almost every letter. but then they were, most of them, so utterly beautiful. To try to quote for them all would be a task as crazy as trying to cram an ocean into a teacup. So with Baba's permission, I give here passages from a few that carry the thoughts and feelings expressed in the other letters to Baba from his Western lovers. So shall I just read a few? Okay, yeah, all right. Here's some from children. This was from a 9-year-old. Last time Uncle Reg was here, we built a bird's tray outside our window. 5 noisy miners, 2 butcher birds, and 2 magpies came to feed. We say Baba to all the birds. I have written a poem for you. Baba's face is a pearl. Baba's eyes are sapphires. Baba's lips are rubies red. I kiss these lips before I go to bed. She doesn't put names to these, what the kids say. Yeah. Let me hear. A girl writes, we went to see you in 1956. I remember that very well. I was about 3 then. My brother and I sat on each knee and you gave us some fruit. I remember that as though it was yesterday. I remember I used to say your name until I fell asleep. Mommy said it was just like praying. And then a 4.5-year-old boy writes, I am next to Baba and Baba is next to me and loves me. And I'll go on. So some letters from the men. Well, I'll read this one, another from a boy. A youngster writes, last Saturday, I played at my first cricket match this season. I was a bit nervous when batting at first, but I said Baba to myself as the bowler commenced his run. Then, as he was about to deliver the ball, I reminded myself to watch the ball. After the first half hour, I was all muddled up and was saying, Baba, watch the ball, and Baba, keep your eye on the ball. I tried to imagine you were sitting watching the game, and so I must play brightly. I was eventually run out. I must have forgotten to say Baba before starting to run. And
Oh,
then,
precious.
and then among the men, one who works in an oil company. So guess who? Oh, beloved Baba, the longing in our hearts. Our love for you can only be satisfied by your love for us. So fill us with your love, beloved Baba. Fill us full. Let us be so full of your divine love that it will flow from us into the lives of others. An interior decorator. We would be rudderless without your contact, love, and presence. Thank you for your many blessings. A young man in the publishing business. Hungrily I awaited another glimpse of your divine form, the effulgent warmth of your ageless smile, and most of all, your gentle touch. I know in my heart that you are the only reality, and my want is to obey and love you completely. A retired electronics designer who has taken up sculpting, Baba. I am slowly proceeding with sculpture, and sometimes in my imagination, you are with me, Baba, in the image in front of me. And it is as though you play games with me, perhaps saying, see, am I not being very helpful? If I say, no, Baba, you look incredibly astonished and say with a twinkle, no, how can this be? Then sometimes, Baba, by your love, and in spite of my ineptness, a little gleam, the smallest reflection of your infinite beauty will appear like a miracle, and I am in tears before you, so that despair at my inadequacy is tempered by the knowledge that by your grace anything is possible, and that the result according to your will, and it is often banished by incredible, indescribable felicity in the endeavor to share your lovely hands and feet. Baba, and I think Francis's simple words, and I think in Francis's simple words, how beautiful you are. And from among the women, a schoolgirl, your love is more important to me than anything else on earth. Please be with me, Baba, and make me worthy of your love. A 14-year-old girl, I think that your coming into my life has made a great change in everything. All the things I shall do will contain a flicker of your love to each person affected. Sometimes I feel so unworthy of the things I have. Other times I find myself looking at what others have and asking myself why I don't have as much. I would rather have nothing at all than lose you and all the beautiful things you stand for. A nurse, all my nursing skill is useless to aid you, for only by living according to your teachings can I help to ease your agony. It is very easy to love you. It is loving one's neighbor as oneself that is difficult. I do not wish to tire you with a long letter, but I must thank you for all the blessings you have seen fit to shower on me. I know I haven't deserved it, but I appreciate it so from all of you. One dealing in cosmetics. O God in human form, beloved Christ, let me be worthy of your sufferings and pains. Let me be worthy of your love and grace. Let me surrender to you all lives that I have ever lived, all thoughts that I have ever thought, all acts that I have ever committed. Let my surrenderance to your will be total and complete, regardless of any suffering it will inflict on me. There are many, many more, but it's just, wow. Amani was the supreme, what's the word, compiler. and commentator on life, like a news commentator of what was going on in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what kind of I knew. I read the family letters before I went to India, years before I went, and just that, I don't know, the way she wrote really it was like I was part of the family. It was like she was my sister getting in touch with me to let me know what was going on. You're so right, Betty. She was such a great commentator. Her writing was just comforting and inviting and exciting, and you could just get the scene. She'd set the scene in words. How fortunate.
And to think she'll be a perfect master. We'll be with her, no doubt. And look how much we love her now. Oh my goodness, it'll be amazing.
Elizabeth asked about the fiddle. Beverly said that she had it tuned in open tuning. So when you have open tuning and you put the bow across the strings, it gives you a D chord or a G chord, whatever it was tuned to. So it's a little easier to play than a normal normal tuning. So that's what I heard anyway. Anybody else?
Did Mani play an instrument called a sarod, which is an instrument that's similar to a sitar, but it has open frets and they use the glissando a lot?
I don't know.
And does the violin have open frets? It doesn't have frets, does it?
Frets. Mm-hmm.
So it's like the sarod.
Mm-hmm.
So if Mani could play the sarod, she probably could play the violin.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's really interesting. I didn't know what a sarod was. Michal brought that to my attention, and I looked it up. It's an instrument that goes all the way back, probably a couple thousand years, to Central Asia. You know, beyond their history of Indian instruments, and beyond that, even further back. It's fascinating. It's amazing she could do so many creative things. I have to leave, everybody, unless I'm needed any longer.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for reading for us today.
Yeah, I'm sorry it wasn't perfect. I did my best.
I think
It was beautiful. It was just very beautiful and perfect. Only what was missing your face, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay. Jai Bob, everybody. Take
Maria.
care. Bye-bye.
Well, anyone else want to share something that hasn't shared yet? Ellen?
All right. I came to Baba internally in 68 and didn't come to the Baba community until 72. And from 72 on, I just wanted to be in India so much. But I wasn't able to go until 87. I had an artist and craftsman husband and children and no money. And Baba said, take care of your responsibilities. So I did that. But in 87, I was able to go between Christmas and January, but for only 2 weeks because I was working the post office. And that was all the leave I could take for that. But Mara and Mani and other Mandalay were still there, and I was so grateful. When I would go to Meherazad, and in those days you still went quite a lot, although not as much as in the early days, I would spend as much time as I could on the women's porch and only sometimes in Mandalay Hall, where Mani often was. But Mani told me one day, she said, oh, are you new? And I said, well, this is my first time here. She said, no, you've been here before. And I went, oh, well, okay, thank you, Mani, but no, I know I haven't been here before. So, and then a little bit later, she said, it's because you're back. And I said, well, no, I haven't been here before. She said, yes, you've been here before. And I've told that to someone that says, she said, she said that to everyone. And it's like, for a minute that hurt. And then I went, no, she said it to me. And she knew the longing of my heart to have been with Baba always. So as was said before, she spoke to the need. And that's my favorite memory and not often shared memory of money.
Beautiful.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. I'm sure. Thank you for sharing.
Beautiful.
Well,
Thank
I've been Ellen in another body in another earlier time.
Well, that's, I
Yeah.
think, what you're intimating. I don't know.
Bauji used to say that all of us are divided into 20, 20, 20 in the first 100 years after Baba passed the body. So every 20 years, that's a group that was with Baba before, that and also Arab said that. They said it's not the first time to be with Baba, and it's not that we were prasadists in a big darshan or something. We were with him. So if we think back to our connection to previous avatars, and if we think back that we have some kind of connection and we have remembrances or strong feelings about avatars from before, then that was our stay with Baba before. Not only in his body, like in the years that he lived as Avatar Meher Baba, but as he lived in the previous avataric appearances. And I fully believe in that. And Bauji said every 20 years there's a group, that's a wave that was with Baba in a certain time, and then there's another 20 years and another 20 years, and now it's the last 20 years of people who are really connected to Baba in different ways, not only from this avataric time, or not only if they didn't meet Baba and all that. I believe in that completely. And when Mani stresses, she does have intimations, or how do you call it? She knows what she's talking about. I would take that as the truth.
Intuition.
And you do, Ellen Valera, you do seem to be an oldie, a young oldie, a very young oldie.
Well,
and beautiful soul, because I feel that Baba wanted us here. He needed us here. He called us here. He didn't only call the Mandali to come with him. He called us to come with him too, to be here, because the world is becoming really a mess. We need to shine the light. We do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rosa, what do you say?
Well, I think he called us too because we can accelerate coming to Baba closer. I think, I mean, what he has accomplished in the last couple of years is phenomenal, as far as I'm concerned. When I first, wasn't my first encounter with Baba, because in the 60s I was aware that he was part of the influx of Eastern masters and teachings coming into the US. But in 1984, I ended up in somebody's apartment that was just plastered with Baba's face, every square inch of it. And I looked into the poster of the ancient one, and I felt like I fell into Baba's eyes. And I didn't have, you know, those waves of love and this and that some people are blessed to have. I fell deep into Baba's eyes, and there was this certainty, this knowing that this was something old, that I knew Baba and Baba knew me. It wasn't just that I'd heard of Baba, but there had been an ancient relationship where we knew each other. And that has persisted. And I've heard many Baba lovers say that they feel this old connection with Baba. And it certainly seems so to me. Of the billions of people on this planet, how we got so blessed is probably through past connections.
No doubt.
Yeah.
After 8,400,000, well, at least 7 million, we were wrong. Maybe
Yeah, I know. If
second.
you think about it, it's like, really? This is crazy, but thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Well,
Lucy, what do you say about that? What do
no,
you feel?
I'm still kind of focused on Mani, and I was just going to ask Judy to speak because she spent so much time in India, but she's gone, so we missed that opportunity. But I see Rosalie's here. Rosalie, would you like to share about Mani?
It's interesting that there were days when she was not going to the trust on the weekend, I guess. And then it was just really wonderful. I call it like a cosmic ping pong game between Eric and Mani. You know, they went back and forth. But the instant that Mara was on the porch, they would announce it. And it was hard to pull myself away, and it wasn't hard because I saw Mani one time. I think it was Christmas time one time when I was there. And she was standing right next to Mara. Mara was handing out candy kisses that were wrapped. And Mara said something so sharp to Mani. It almost affected me, like kind of. And Mani didn't show one iota of mood change in her face. She just completely kept her beautiful face looking, you know, no reaction. I said that was an unbelievable feat that I witnessed, I have to say. And Mani suffered a lot physically, you know, and I loved her the childlikeness of her. She was such a child. And one time she took me to the toy cabinet, just one time when she took the children. So it was a great honor to, she had all these wind up toys, and she'd get down on the ground and all the kids would be there. I really think she preferred being around children. Because it was just so strong in her, that the child, that it must have been a relief, because when I think of it, in a way, at every stage of evolution, I mean, in a way, rocks are happy, they're not thinking, it's like us now as human beings. I mean, we have the burden of thinking. It's a burden, and Baba's come to take it away from us, taking that burden on, because I kind of get off on that Baba told Adi Irani that as Avatar, he took us from sensation to reason. It was a great leap, a huge leap, because animals have, sensation. And then he's taken us now from reason to intuition, thank God. And whatever way I can get there, I will feel the fast track. And I just came from a UK meeting of Baba speaking through Narina, and why I love that so much is it's so much about our oneness, so incredibly about our oneness. And I would say a couple of things I was thinking that Mani told me that were very valuable. One was, she said, Baba gives us the highest authority. He gives us the authority to love him. That to me was a wonderful thing to hear. One time when I was really crushed, I mean, my ego was like, and I was sitting on the bus. I've been weeping with her, seldom weep. And Mani came up to the bus. When they used to come up to the bus, Erich and Mani and Goher, it was so beautiful. They'd see us off. And she saw me on the bus, my little humped figure. And she says, who is that? Who is that shrouded? She called me shrouded, which was funny because we used to wear those. They're cremation scarves, but we wore them around our neck or whatever in India, and whatever the Indians thought. They never said anything that I know about it. But I turned to her because she's like an undeniable person, Mani. She's Mani, God's sister. And she says, oh, come on now, Rosalie, give me that big watermelon smile, with her beautiful face and beaming with her hands there. And I started weeping, sobbing, and it was so perfect. I would say a perfect gift to me when I felt all alone, and it sounded like a giant hall where it was like strong echo. And she said, but he loves you. What more do you want? And it was just like a very heart thing to say, it was a gift. It was a gift. And I had at times that I didn't like what Mani said too, and my favorite was Mara. and Mani is incredibly delightful as she was. When I was with Mara, I was with Baba. There were, I just feel Mara's the female side of God, and I clued into it when during the Oklahoma accident, there's no accident, he said she shared half the suffering. I've never heard of him telling anyone half or even a fraction of the suffering. No. But Mara could and did, Anyway, no, I loved Mani. And it was delightful. She greeted me and Eric. They were in the trust office when we came in, 5 of us from California, and welcome home. She just said, welcome home. And one time she told me, because I had a complaint about one person, just impossible over there. And I talked to her and she says, oh, Rosalie, no, you're in the family. You're a Parsi, and just trying to. It was you're on pilgrimage, so it's a grace to be on pilgrimage, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a picnic. And I learned that because I've had a couple of, I would say, doozies, And it's a pilgrimage, and Bob always lets you know it had to be that way. It had to, just like your life has to be the way it is. Yeah. So anyway, I can only say I'm only beyond grateful for ever meeting the Mandalay. Of course, Mani, one of which was incredible. They all were just beautiful reflections of Baba, and some of them were difficult. For me, Padre was, it just not my cup of tea, but he had a certain purity about him, the man. It's just like, wow. So it was great to be around him because you get that feedback. This person lived around Baba a long time. So you're gonna want to see that feedback. It could be painful, it can be ecstatic. You want to see it because, and I had, if anyone knows Jacko Caraco, he worked for the Mandalay as a Western helper early on, and he became an acupuncturist, and he was in Los Angeles, and I had this remembrance of my pilgrimage while I was being needled, acupuncture. And he'd let me play my Kowali tapes when I was healing, because I thought, well, the Kowali singing healed me too. And one time I had this, I was riding just like I don't know what to call it, but it was an experience of riding on the white horse across the water to go to India while I'm getting this acupuncture. And then meeting the Mandalay, the gift Baba gives us is flowering. And you think the flowering is through, but it's not. It keeps flowering, just like when 4th of July, those things in the sky, you think it's through, and it's like, wow, and it keeps going on. And that's what I give. That's what I feel he gave with meeting those souls at that time. It was any time on the pilgrimage is your perfect time to go, of course, because but we're very spoiled. I've been 7 times over there. And 2 out of the 7 were, I would say, rough duty, really, but precious. And I will say, Mani, I love her little poem about Christmas, the Christmas prayer. Avatar Meher Baba is the soul giver. We are each given in the measure of our emptying. when the heart's begging bowl is scoured clean of all leftovers and wants, his sweet love fills it to the brim. It's just a perfect Christmas poem, dear Baba.
That is perfect. Oh, thank you so much, Rosalie. Rosa.
Yes, something, when Rosalie was talking about Mara saying something sharp to Mani, it reminded me that one time I was in a gathering of Sufis and people were asking questions and this gentleman stood up and the Murshid responded with something that could have been so devastating that I gasped when I heard it, because he was saying it to this person, but in a public setting, no less.
Mm.
And my takeaway, and I noticed how the gentleman who was standing did not lose his equipoise. He did not get defensive. And the takeaway for me was, because I saw it, it was like an immediate understanding that when somebody speaks from a true place of love, it can be received openly without the ego defending. And that was very profound. I mean, it was a totally new insight. I had never thought about that. And what it did for me personally was that I started to watch myself before speaking to another person, assessing where that was coming from. Was I speaking from a place of love, or was I speaking from some sort of ego that wanted to get back at a person subtly and correct them? You know, on and on, whatever it was. But I developed this penchant for self-awareness about the place I was speaking from that really has changed my life. Yeah. Jai Baba.
Yeah, dear Baba.
Love is the answer.
The answer and the question. All right, well, let's have a few minutes of silence. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Jai Baba. If you like, we'll take a moment. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. If you'd like to unmute.
Dear Baba, keep
Avatar Meher Baba.
May her Baba keep
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
I hope you
Happy
were
birthday, dear Mani. Thank you, Lucy, for